Today, I will be talking about how to not let the 9-to-5 structure drain you. So I know for a lot of us, especially the ones like me who got into the workforce during 2020, we realized that this 9-to-5 structure is quite archaic. And not just the people who got into the workforce, but many people were quitting their job. So many people were like, wait, this is not the way I want to live my life. I do not want my work to be all-encompassing, to be like the centerpiece of my life, because it's not. Like, let's be real, work is not your life. I want you to remember that anytime you feel stressed at work or you're feeling stressed after work, work is not your life. Work is a part of your life. Work is an ends to a means. Work is what pays your rent. Work is work. And once we are able to realize that, will save us so much stress. I know it just seems a lot easier said than done, and I've always kind of felt like that as well, but lately I've been reading a lot of books or listening to a lot of podcasts as well, and implementing changes into my work life to reduce the stress and the burnout or any like cause of burnout, because it's not worth it. Like, yes, it's important that I have a job. Yes, it's important that I am like moving up in my career, but like the stress that I'm feeling afterwards, the fact that like on Mondays, oftentimes I literally like feel like I'm in a comatose because my head is just like filled with so much frustration or fatigue. Not even just frustration, mainly fatigue, just because I was at work for 8 hours. Like, I don't want to be feeling like that after work every day. Like, that's not productive. Like, I won't get anything done. I just won't be able to like spend time with my family, spend time with my friends because I'm so tired. If you're someone who's feeling a bit stressed at your job right now, this video is for you. If you don't take anything else away from this video, take this. A job is an ends to a means. Say it with me again. A job is an ends to a means. That's what it is. A job is a job. A job is what allows you to pay your rent, allows you to pay your mortgage, allows you to buy food, allows you to go out and have fun with your friends. That's what a job is. And another thing, your employment is at will. If your employer wants to fire you, wants to lay you off, they will. Remember all those tech layoffs that were happening earlier this year in January, February? Tens of thousands of people were laid off. Yeah, that could happen to you. That could happen to me. So the sooner we recognize that, the quicker we'll be able to let some of these little issues or frustrations that really cause a lot of burnout and stress within us to go. And not even just the little ones, the big ones as well. Like, we will be able to release that and let all of the fatigue and headaches that work can often cause us, you can let that stay to the side. Your job is just an economic contract. And that phrase has been stuck in my head ever since I finished reading/listening to The Good Enough Job by Simone Stolzoff. Highly recommend that book if you are someone who is really a bit disillusioned with the current 9-to-5 work structure, because I am. I'll say it, I am. I just don't think it's that productive for what I envision my life to be. And as someone who probably will have a 9-to-5 forever, I mean, not forever, until I retire, I want to ensure that my work life is not bleeding into my personal life. I can't let the frustrations and stress that I have at work impact my moods outside of work, because then I won't be making these videos. I won't be hanging out with my friends. I won't be doing anything because I'm just stressed. Maybe I will be hanging out with my friends, but I will probably be doing a lot more of that than building my dream life. So it'll just cause some issues in my life. Your job doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to work. Your job does not, and please, okay, I know I said the first point was something y'all like really need to remember, but like I think this one might be more so. I don't know. I can't compare. I think you need to remember both, actually. Your job does not need to fulfill every aspect of your life. Your job does not need to be where you find love, where you make your friends, where you do everything that you do in your life. No, your job is one part of your life. That means your job just needs to pay your bills. That's like the first thing your job needs to do. Your job needs to pay your bills. It needs to be funding you that way. And it just has to work for the lifestyle that you want and for the goals you want to accomplish, the skills you want to gain, the networks you want to tap into. Jobs are a really great place to form connections and meet mentors and make mentors and just build your professional network. I have definitely made a lot of mentors in my career, so very thankful for that. Shout out to y'all. And so when I say your job has to work for you, I mean that if you are someone who doesn't mind taking a pay cut because you want to do like a lot more fulfilling work that might pay less than you would if you were like in a private sector, do that if that works for you. Or if you are someone who wants to make hella bank, go do that. Go make your bank. Don't choose a job based off of what other people are saying or what other people are doing, because that's not your life. That's not your job. That's not your career. Because if you base your job choices, your career choices, your professional choices off of what other people are telling you to do, you're not gonna have the life that you want. Sure, yes, take advice that was solicited, not unsolicited. Unsolicited advice, you don't need to listen to because you didn't ask for it, you didn't need it. But if you were asking like your mentor or your parents for advice and they give you advice, take it into thought, into consideration. And when I say consideration, actually consider it. Like think about it, like think about this advice and see if it aligns with what you want in your life, if it aligns with the lifestyle that you want. If it does, follow the advice. If it doesn't, just set it aside and maybe circle back to it. Your job doesn't have to be perfect. It really just needs to work for what you want. Leave the work issues at work, okay? I have quickly learned that any frustrations that you have at work, they cannot enter your after 5 p.m. life. Like from 9 to 5, yes, deal with those frustrations, but after 5 p.m., box it up and leave it on your desk. Complaining about your frustrations after work just brings the work problems into your personal life. Set the boundaries. You have to set your work boundaries and your personal boundaries. And I feel like that structure works the best, but if you are someone who is able to kind of be more flexible and allow like some of your work life to blend into your personal life, go ahead, do that. If that works for you, that works for you. For me, it doesn't. I have to like set clear boundaries. Like literally once it's 5 p.m., I log off. Like, or if I have like work that I had to continue doing, I log off at 5:30, whatever. But from 9 to 5:30 or 9 to 5, I'm in like work mode, you know, I just do my work. And then after that, I have to remind myself to no, don't think about whatever frustration happened that day or whatever stress caused you that day, because it doesn't bring you any relief, because you're just continuing to fester in the stress. You're not like letting it go. So you definitely need to leave the work issues at work. If you have a frustration with the project that you're working on or with someone that you're working with, deal with that at work. After work, it's like that didn't even exist, okay? Just like that wasn't your life. That was not you. That's not what you're doing. That's not what you're doing right now. You were doing your personal things. You were doing your side hustles. You were doing whatever you do after work. I think it's difficult to have a work life that doesn't have some kind of stress. There are certain forms of stress that you should not have to deal with at work, especially if you're dealing with like burnout. No, like that means you are overcompensating. Your job is not either paying you enough or they are making you work so many long hours and you are just burnt out. Like that's not healthy stress, but there are like forms of healthy stress that are fine in life. But stress like that's when you need to reconsider if you should be in that job. If it's not something you're built for, don't keep building. Don't keep building. If you're not built for it, leave. Like I am a heavy proponent of leaving because I know me, there's only so much burnout a person can take. And ideally, I would like to not burn out at all at work. There will be certain periods in your job where you have to perform at a higher pace just because of like the quarter, or if it's like election season, for example, because I work in like politics, like you're performing at a higher pace. But if it's like constant burnout, you might need to go. I'm sorry if that's like your dream job, but what's the point of sacrificing your health for a title? I feel like that's a little controversial to say, but sometimes you just need to sit back and think, okay, is it really worth it? I don't think you need to share every part of your personal life at work. No, I am a heavy proponent of setting boundaries in every part of your life, and that includes work. So I'm not going to be sharing every detail of my weekend at work. They don't need to know that. We're at work. We're not talking about Karami's life. I will say, like, obviously there are certain personal things that I share at my job, but I'm not sharing everything. You don't need to. And the reason why I bring this up is because there have been moments in my career where I have been told that I can come off as like a little standoffish or like quiet or like not really involving myself in conversations at work. Whenever I get those kinds of feedback, I know immediately it's because I probably wasn't sharing as much about my personal life as maybe my colleagues do. And look, some people like are fine with sharing their personal life. I am not, because I prefer to have boundaries. Like I said, at the end of the day, this is a job. This is just a part of my life. It's not all of my life. And we're not friends. You're my employer. Like you should have that professional relationship. You can go to the happy hours and go to the events, whatever, but you still need to be professional at the happy hour and the events. Like, you don't need to share everything. This is a big one. Pivot if you need to. Speaking for the Americans in the room, because I'm from the USA, I just feel like our society like puts so much pressure on choosing the one career, the one pathway that you are going through your life. I would say high school is where it really starts, like high school, college. High school, because you have to choose one college, you have to choose one major, like, or you could go in and be unmajored? No major? I forgot what the word is, but you have to choose like one major, one college when you're applying to school. And then you go through college and you're taking your classes, your gen eds, and then you're taking your major classes. And like, you can switch around, but there's only so much switching you can do, because then you gotta stay another year. Then after you graduate, then you're expected to like go through that one career that aligned with the major that you did, and then that's it. There's so much emphasis on just staying in one path when life is just all about trial and error. Like, that's what life is. You do not come out the womb knowing everything that you want to do, everything about life. You don't. Like, you are learning, you are growing, you are making mistakes, and you are learning from these mistakes, and you're succeeding. That's how we should take our career. I want us to really be less hard on ourselves when it comes to choosing the career path, because there's no one career path. There are career paths, okay? There are highways. You can go down one field and decide this is actually not for me and diverge to a different path. Talk to your mentors, talk to your network, talk to people that you know who are in like certain careers that you are interested in, and just like learn more. And then if you want to try that career, apply for it. I really do believe that you can pivot when it comes to moving up the career ladder, the corporate ladder. It's recommended that you just stay in one path. If you think about it, there are so many careers where you can transfer or translate your skills into those skills for that new career. I would also think of it that way. Like, when you are thinking about pivoting to a different career, think about like your transferable skills. Like, are you managing a project? Okay, project management, that's a skill. That's a highly needed skill. Communications, like being able to actually effectively communicate to people, to explain things clearly. That is so needed in any career. So I'm just here to tell you and remind you, you are allowed to make changes. You do not need to stay in that one career, because you are literally going to hate yourself if you are in a career that you truly do not like anymore. Like, maybe you liked it initially and then you started working in it for a year and a half, whatever, and you realize you don't like it, it's not for you. And if you keep yourself into this career because that was like your dream job when you were a kid, like you always thought you wanted to be an astronaut, but you became an astronaut and you realize you don't actually like going into space, I don't know, whatever, or you don't like physics, whatever, then don't stay in that. Don't make yourself stay in something you no longer like. And finally, babes, stop caring about how people on LinkedIn will view you. Stop caring about what the LinkedIn people think. I just feel like there's so much pressure to be a part of the achievement Olympics. That's what I like to call it. So, you know, like you're being promoted, you're getting these like high accolades, you're getting these certifications, blah, 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 you're getting XYZ, all these crazy cool things. Like, yes, this is really cool. Like, you are so successful. I love the people who are achieving high achieving career goals. Like, I love that. Like, y'all killing it, love it. But if you are only applying to this job because you think it'll look good on your LinkedIn profile, if you are only getting this certificate because you think it'll look cool to your LinkedIn followers, please rethink, please. Like, don't dictate your life based off of LinkedIn accolades, LinkedIn accomplishments. Please don't. There is so much more to life than wanting to look cool on LinkedIn. And maybe it's not just LinkedIn, maybe there are other scenarios in life where you feel like you have to be a part of these achievement Olympics. Don't care what people think. It's your job, it's your career, it's not their life. Please, just do what you want to do for yourself, do what works for you. You're more than your job. Do not stress yourself because you don't have 500 plus connections on LinkedIn, or because you didn't start a company and like this one guy from college has started like 5. Do you want to start a company? If you don't, that shouldn't even press you, shouldn't even affect you. Yeah, so that's all I have to say about not letting the 9-to-5 structure drain you. This is very cathartic for me. I really hope this was helpful. I have been implementing quite a bit of these tidbits that I shared in my own life, and I have seen some changes, and I'm very happy with myself because I know my friends and my family are very happy that I'm no longer complaining about whatever frustrations I had at work. Like, yes, I still complain to a degree, but not as much as I used to. Like, I really just shut it off at 5 p.m. I'm like, nah, I'm not letting this affect me. I'm gonna go shopping or I'm gonna go read a book. Would love to hear your thoughts on what you think about the 9-to-5 structure, if you think it's archaic. But yeah, would love to have a conversation down in the comments. I'll see you guys next time.